Hello everyone, welcome to the Beamable package update video for 1.2. Let's check out what's new. We've added official support for Unity 2021 long-term support. That means that you can use the latest version of Unity and Beamable together to get all of the great features you expect. However, this does mean that we will be dropping support for Unity 2018. If your project is using that version, make sure to upgrade at least to 2019 so you can upgrade to Beamable 1.2. We've made an important change to the security of the Microservice client callable attribute. In previous versions of Beamable, all methods marked with client callable could be called from anywhere, even without a valid user authorization header. In Beamable 1.2, all calls to a client callable method must include a valid authorization header. This is the default for a Unity game client. If you were relying on the behavior of a client callable working with no authorization header, then you can change your methods to use the new callable attribute. For example, this first method can only be called by a user with a valid authorization header. However, this new method with the callable attribute can be called from anywhere, even without an authorization header. In Beamable 1.2, we've also enabled Docker Build Kit as the default. In previous versions of Beamable, Docker Build Kit was a preview feature that you could use. Now it's enabled by default, so you'll notice some different logs in your build output, but generally speaking, your microservice builds should be faster and more fault resistant. You can revert Docker Build Kit by going to the project settings, and under the microservice section, you can check Disable Docker Build Kit. However, the inclusion of Docker Build Kit as the default will allow ARM-based CPU architectures to deploy their microservices to the Beamable cloud. Now your microservice assembly definitions can use the Use GUIDs checkbox for better dependency resolution within Unity. Here's the assembly definition for a custom microservice, and now I can use the Use GUIDs checkbox and apply. We've improved the method signature for interacting with microservice to player notifications. Now you can use generic methods to automatically deserialize your types. In this sample microservice, I'm going to notify some given player about a doodad on the doodad's channel. In my Unity game, I'll have a mono behavior that listens on the doodad's channel and uses this subscribe method with a generic type to run my callback, where I'll add it into an array that I can look at in the inspector. Using the local Swagger documentation, I'll send one message at a position of 1, 2 with a message of hello. And within Unity, when I look at my received list, there's my message. In Beamable 1.2, we've made it so that when you build your games for Android or iOS, we'll prevent the Unity Addressables package from automatically code stripping itself. You can control this setting by going to the project settings and under the core section, see the new setting for prevent addressable code stripping. When this is enabled, after a build, a link XML file will be generated under the Beamable resources folder. There's a brand new lobby SDK that you can take advantage of with Beamable 1.2. You can write code to allow your players to make their own, join, or search available lobbies. Here I have a basic script that will create a new lobby called demo lobby, and then print out a message anytime the lobby is updated. Here's a method that will join a lobby based on a passcode. In Unity, I have two game objects that both have that script on them. On player 1, let's create a new lobby and then take a look at it and take the passcode. Now let's go to player 2, enter the passcode, and use the join lobby function we looked at before. Now when we go back to player 1, we'll see that the player has been added to the lobby. You can also use this lobby SDK to manage player presence, as well as player readiness and other tag-based attributes. That's all we have time for this Beamable package update video, but like always, check out our blog post and the full changelogs to see everything that's new in Beamable 1.2. But before we go, it's time for the Beamable bonus hint. If you have a custom content subclass with some fields, there are various attributes that you can use to customize how this content will be serialized by Beamable. Let's look at 3 examples. If you have some field, but you would like it to be serialized as a different name, you can use the content field attribute and pass in a custom name. Now, when this object is serialized, instead of the field being serialized with the name X, it will use the custom name field. Additionally, you might have a private field that you want to be serialized. By default, private fields will not be serialized by content, but you can include them by adding the content field attribute as well. Lastly, if you have a public field that you do not want to be serialized in content, you can use the ignore content field attribute. This means that when an instance of this content is serialized, whatever the value of y is will just not be included in the final JSON. And that's the Beamable bonus tip. Until next time.